Happy 30th, Sonic. Okay, so 2022 is practically being the year of Sonic, basically, because there's a new Sonic movie coming out on April 8th, right around my birthday. Well, right around the same month as my birthday. And also, not to mention, we got two new Sonic games coming out. And, of course, a new Sonic show called Sonic Prime. Now, speaking of Sonic the Hedgehog and his TV shows, there have been, well, a total of five. There was Sad AM, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Underground, Sonic Boom, and of course, the topic of today's video, Sonic X. Sonic X is a Japanese anime, is a Sonic anime that was released in 2003 and ended in 2005 with a total of 78 episodes. So out of this 78 episode series, which were my favorite episodes? Well, today's video is the topic of discussion. Anyway, these are my top 10 favorite Sonic X episodes. Number 10, Episode 64, Clash, Sonic vs. Shadow. Okay, an episode that features Super Sonic and Super Shadow fighting each other had to be on this list. This came during the Metarex saga. It's just an awesome episode, whether you look at it or not. This really shows you just how well the Metarex saga was, looking back at it. At first I wasn't too fond of the Metarex saga, but a lot of its episodes did appear on this list. And I do have a few episodes from Season 1 and Season 2 that balance them out. Anyway, this episode was just a great episode. I mean, just the action of watching Super Sonic and Super Shadow fight each other was just awesome. Enough to be said. Enough said. Enough said. Number 9 is Sonic X Episode 19, Ghost of the Old Castle, King Boom Boom. So, remember King Boom Boom from Sonic Adventure 2? Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of you remember King Boom Boom really well. Especially since he comes out of nowhere and has a random boss fight with Knuckles. Well, this episode is... I definitely like how in this episode, Boom Boom serves more of a purpose than his appearance in Adventure 2. And, they implement his whole hourglass gimmick in this whole episode. I love how the ghosts show up. And, I always have that image of Amy being possessed by one of the ghosts in that one scene. I always have that scene of possessed Amy just always stick into my head whenever I think of Sonic X. And this had to make my top 10 list because I just love the simplicity of this episode. Sonic and his friends go to an old castle where Chris's mom is filming a movie. And yeah, speaking of Chris's mom, this is my favorite episode that features Chris's mom, Lindsay. Sure, Lindsay wasn't the best character, but I actually liked her in this episode, so this episode definitely was a good one. I mean, yeah, this is Sonic and his friends not searching for a Chaos Emerald, but rather than them taking on ghosts. Number 8 is Episode 32, The Scream of Perfect Chaos. I mean, this is the finale of the SA1 adaptation that Sonic X was doing at the beginning of Season 2. So yeah, the beginning of Season 2, they were mainly adapting the adventure games, both SA1 and SA2. So the first few episodes at the beginning was the SA1 episodes, and then we got into and then once we got into episode 33, that's when we start the SA2 adaptation. So yeah, this episode was just a great episode. I mean, just like in the game, Chaos has absorbed all 7 Chaos Emeralds, or the negative energy from all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and transformed into Perfect Chaos. But Sonic channels the power of the positive Chaos Emeralds and becomes Super Sonic, and the fight between Super Sonic and Perfect Chaos in this episode was just awesome. just watching this adaptation play out so well. It was just such a great story they told, and this was my favorite, and this was the obvious favorite choice of mine when it came to the adaptation of SA1. Even though SA1 is my favorite Sonic game of all time, it's what got me into Sonic. Next up, number 7 is Episode 1, the very first episode of Sonic X. Yeah, I have a soft spot for the first episode of Sonic X. So it starts off like this. Sonic is on his way to rescue Cream the Rabbit and her chow friend Cheese from Dr. Eggman. And yes, Dr. Eggman managed to get his hands on all 7 Chaos Emeralds. During the fight itself, chaos control is caused, which sends Sonic and his friends to our world. It's a good episode to open the series. Yes, it also introduces Chris Thorndyke at the end of the episode when he saves Sonic from his pool. Now, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I'm a very split person when it came to Chris Thorndyke. Yeah, on one hand, I can admit he can be a very selfish character, but on the other hand, there are some things about him I can defend. But I don't really hate Chris Thorndyke all that much. And that's saying a lot. Anyway, moving on. Number 6 is episode 61, The Metarex Battleship Invades. So, Dark Oak sends a powerful Metarex called Hellship to destroy Sonic and Dr. Eggman. And Hellship is a very powerful ship. I mean, that it would have to cause Sonic and Dr. Eggman to have to force to work together to defeat him, as well as Shadow, because this episode followed Shadow's return to the series after the SA2 adaptation. So, yeah, this was Shadow's return to the series. And Shadow would play a big part in Season 3 after he would make his grand return. This episode is just an awesome episode, and I love the action of it. I mean, yeah, we would get a flashback of how Cosmo would lose her family because of Hellship's attack in the next episode following this. Point being, I like episode 61, and it was a great episode. Number 5 is episode 35, Escape from Prison Island. Yep, this adapts the Prison Island portion of the SA2 adaptation. So, yeah, this episode's actually a really well-crafted episode. You have Sonic's friends come into Prison Island to bust him out, while you have Shadow, Rouge, and Dr. Eggman's group having to go to Prison Island to to collect the Chaos Emeralds there to power the Eclipse Cannon. And just like in the SA2 game, Shadow sneaks into the armory to plant a bomb, and Rouge sneaks into the warehouse to steal the Chaos Emeralds, while Eggman goes in to distract the military troops. Of course, unlike the actual SA2 where Amy sneaks onto the island, Amy actually flies to the island with Tails. And she also and just like in SA2, mistaken Shadow for Sonic. And of course, like in SA2, Sonic and Shadow do fight after Sonic gets out of his prison cell. And the fight itself is a really well done fight between base form Sonic and base form Shadow. And of course, with the bomb about to blow and Prison Island about to go up in smoke, you get this frantic feeling of escapism as both parties have to escape from the island. it's a really well done episode, and I definitely think this adaptation was really well done. Oh yeah, and Chris gets taken to the Space Colony Arc at the end of the episode when Shadow takes him via Chaos Control alongside Rouge when he went back for Rouge. So yeah, this episode was just well done, in my opinion. Next up is number 4, Sonic X Episode 68, Above a Destroyed Planet. So, yeah, this does not feature Sonic and the gang in this episode at all. No, this episode more or less revolves around Dr. Eggman's group, as well as Shadow and Rouge, as they come across a bunch of freedom fighters fighting against the Metarex. And, of course, Dr. Eggman's group helps the freedom fighters out. But of course, the leader of the freedom fighters decides to set up one of his own, which is this girl named Molly. Yes, this girl named Molly is practically the main character of this episode, as she is one of the freedom fighters who is willing to still continue to fight despite the fact that it's a losing effort against the Metarex. And of course, this also features one of the Metarex's 4 bosses, Pale Bayleaf, who also gets involved in the final battle later on in the series, or later on in the season. So yeah, this episode was just well done, to my opinion, because this didn't need Sonic and his friends to be a great episode. I mean, I loved how they wanted to shift focus to Shadow in this episode, especially in this episode where he even makes a grave for Molly after she is killed. Yeah, the Japanese version of this episode has her get killed, while the English 4Kids version looks like they made it look like she flew away, but in the Japanese version, they brutally kill her off, unlike in the English version. The English version, yeah, the Japanese version felt more realistic compared to the English version. And, this episode was just an intense episode. I mean, especially just the fact that Molly, the fact that Molly's friends would just set her up like this. The fact that they would betray her just to join the Metarex. This episode's just that emotional, especially since these kids are just so tired of fighting. Number 3 is episode 38, Maria's Wishes and Everyone's Wishes. This episode features the Space Colony arc heading towards Earth, and Sonic and Shadow must stop it, and Sonic and the gang must stop it. This is practically the ending of the SA2 adaptation, and what a way to go out for the SA2 adaptation. This was a good way to end this episode. The Japanese version of this episode features Live and Learn actually getting played in this episode, so points for the Japanese version for having Live and Learn actually be played in this. It's a great episode. The action is great, the drama is great, and the conflict is strong in this episode. So, yeah, this episode is a great episode and probably one of the better episodes of Sonic X. Number 2. Episode 5, Clash Sonic vs. Knuckles. Okay, yes, I know I put this above the finale of the SA2 adaptation, but come on! I actually like this episode, to be honest. Sure, it may not be one of the most perfect episodes, but this episode's just that entertaining in my eyes. So, yes, Eggman tricks Knuckles into fighting Sonic. And, of course, Eggman also captures Tails, Chris, and Amy, while the three think there is a Chaos Emerald in the Silver Valley, after Eggman caused a massive energy wave that mimicked a Chaos Emerald's energy. So our heroes, including our heroes set out to look for the so-called Emerald, but But like I said, they get trapped by Dr. Eggman, who tricked them into coming here. And, you're watching Sonic and Knuckles actually fight each other. Even though Knuckles was tricked by Dr. Eggman, just like how he was tricked a few times in the games as well. So, yeah, Knuckles' character in Sonic X is not that far off from his game counterpart. So, in a sense, this episode was just that great. I mean, just watching two of my favorite characters duke it out with each other. I mean, it's the simplicity that counts, I guess. And number one is episode 77, What Can I Do For You? This episode 77 is definitely the darkest and definitely the saddest way to go out. This is during the final battle against the Metarex, as Dark Oak, along with Pale Bayleaf and Black Narcissus, form this ginormous seed. And, of course, since Supersonic and Super Shadow couldn't even defeat this seed on their own, Cosmo ends up sacrificing herself. And Tails has no choice but to shoot her with the Sonic Driver Cannon, or the Sonic Power Cannon. Now, yes, Tails is broken in this episode. I mean, he is forced to kill someone he loves to make the ultimate sacrifice to save the entire galaxy. I mean, that's just really dark for a kid show like this to go out on. But in a way, it works in Sonic X's favor. Anyway, yeah, this episode was just that good. And it definitely kicks the ass of the following episode that would come on with episode 78. Episode 78 was not terrible, but definitely not my favorite episode of the series. Episode 77 felt more like the finale than episode 78 did. Anyway, yeah, Sonic X. Definitely say it's a show that's had its problems here and there, but I don't hate Sonic X. Yeah, I probably prefer to watch Sonic X over shows like Sonic Underground any day, because I still thought Sonic Underground was probably the worst Sonic show ever. I mean, come on, Sonic just using a guitar to fight robots, even though he's shown to spin dash? Yeah, no thanks. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3. And, well, I cannot wait for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. Anyway, gotta go fast. See ya!